The traditional way to break is to split the first two balls with a little bit of inside English, trying to bring the cue ball up between the second and the third diamond on the side rail. There are many unique and alternative ways of breaking the balls. This is one. This alternative way of breaking is typically used when the breaker finds that the corner ball is leaking out to his opponent's side of the table. This shot's a little more complicated. Your opponent has a ball hanging very close to his pocket. You need to clear that ball. The question is, can we use this situation to our advantage and turn defense into offense? If you've determined that the best course of action is to turn the table over to your opponent by playing safe, look for a way to do that by sticking the cue ball into the stack. Let your imagination work for you. From this position, you have two options. You can play safe by making a full hit on the 5 using a follow stroke. The 5 ball will vacate the premises and the cue ball will stick along the footrail. But that's not what we're going to do here. Because of the position of the cue ball being on a diagonal to the 5 ball, we can now go 2 rails into the 5 ball, sending it towards our pocket. The cue ball will go back up table in a safe position. The differences in the quality of one player over another lies in the ability to find and execute offensive shots from defensive or neutral positions. I have a problem with this position. My pocket is to the lower left and I need to be able to control the cue ball. So if I wish to bank this ball from my pocket, I want to use a 9 o'clock hit on the cue ball. That way that inside English is going to keep the cue ball up table and keep it under control. Notice how the inside English has kept the cue ball close to the top rail and brought it back to my side of the table. Had I failed to make the bank, and the speed was not correct, I still would not have given up any kind of a shot. Search all you like, you're not going to find an offensive shot here. Your opponent has a ball hanging near his pocket and you're blocked by the stack. With a kick off the head rail and into the left side of the 1 ball, you'll be able to clear it and play safe at the same time. Well, you're not entirely out of trouble, but you've survived another inning, and that's all you can really hope to do in this case. Seek and ye shall find. Cue ball in the upper right-hand corner, in your opponent's pocket, surrounded with loose pool balls. It seems to be a very defensive situation. It doesn't have to be that way. Get in the habit of looking around. Maybe you can find something offensive that you can do that has defensive overtones. By skimming off the ball at the top of the stack, I was able to get the cue ball behind the 2 and the 1. At the same time, I was able to skim the 13 ball off the edge of the stack and towards my pocket. I've now turned defense into offense. Here again, you won't see what you don't look for. If you automatically assume that you're going to have to play safe off your opponent's break, well, that's what you're going to do, and you're going to overlook some very valuable shots. Here is one such example. Carom shots such as this one are frequently overlooked. Other times they're seen, but because of lack of practice, they're passed on. Do yourself a favor and practice these caroms until they become part of your arsenal. You have nothing on your side of the table. Your opponent has balls along his side of the table and along the footrail. But you are in the driver's seat in this situation. Consider how you can clear balls from your opponent's side of the table and stick the cue ball in the stack. How's that for turning the situation around? Learn to play the percentages. The shot here is to two-rail the ball that's along your opponent's side rail. But it's not likely that you're going to make that shot. However, you can get it close, and that can set the trap if you can get the cue ball in the catcher's mitt. As you can see, I not only made the bank, but I got shape on another ball as well. I had intended the cue ball to fall in with the 1 and the 5 ball, but I drew the cue ball a little bit too much. This was fortunate for me, but not so for my opponent. Offense is king. The ability to play aggressive shots from awkward positions while maintaining control of the cue ball is the essence of great play. In this situation, there are numerous ways of playing a safety, but why not play safe and aggressively at the same time? Pocketing that ball was a plus. Even if it hadn't fallen, I would have put my opponent in a difficult position. Now, with a relatively free shot on the ball along my side rail, if I can make that ball, the cue ball will take a natural roll towards the opposite side rail, giving me open shots on numerous other balls. This is a tricky situation here. Following the break, your opponent has the ball hanging very close to his pocket. Earlier, I showed you how you could go off the head rail, one rail towards that ball, clearing it and playing safe. This time, that may not be good enough. With the 9 ball near the foot rail, that may leave a bank. There is an alternative, albeit it's a difficult shot. Here I played a ticky off the back of the 9 ball, sending the cue ball in the direction of the ball that was hanging near my opponent's pocket. This helped to clear both balls. Notice also I managed to get another ball on my side of the table. One way to play safe from here is to play off the dark ball near the foot rail, leaving the cue ball along the foot rail. This is a very passive shot and will only get you in more trouble. Better play is to kick towards the striped ball near your opponent's pocket. This can be done in one of 2 ways. First, go to the foot rail and hit on the underside of the striped ball, leaving the cue ball approximately where the striped ball is now. The other way is to make a thinner hit on the opposite side of the striped ball, sending the cue ball up table and the striped ball across towards the foot rail. And this is the shot I will be demonstrating here. Before I chose the second option as opposed to the first, I looked at the stack, making sure that there were no dead balls for my opponent. You need to remove that 3 ball, but be careful you don't leave a bank on that ball that sits just above the cue ball. You have the makings of a trap with a ball along the footrail and two along your side rail. It's time to think about the catcher's mitt. How can you remove that 3 ball and still get the cue ball in the catcher's mitt? Well, that was easy enough. Just a rail first hit with a little bit of English, and the 3 ball gets cleared and the cue ball goes right to the catcher's mitt. You have now turned defense into offense and set a trap. Your pocket is lower left, and whether you need 1 ball or both balls would make no difference in this situation. The proper shot is to double kiss the 5 ball towards your pocket. With a little practice, you too can be playing this shot very effectively. Notice how close I came to pocketing the 7 ball in the corner. Had that ball fallen, and I needed 2, I could have won the game from there. It's a sweet feeling to steal a game from your opponent from situations like this. Your pocket is lower left, and the 2 ball is very close to the cue ball. Those balls along the foot rail are going to block its path for a bank, but you do have a shot on it. Watch how you can capitalize on a situation like this. I wouldn't think of playing this shot unless the situation was ideally set up. You had better add this shot to your arsenal because you're going to be faced with it many times. By placing the cue ball about 4 or 5 inches to one side of the spot, you can draw the cue ball directly back and pocket the head ball into your pocket. Now I didn't need that last ball, but I figured, what the hell. This has been Tom Wirth for OnePocket.org. Thanks for watching.